Welcome to Running the Table, the podcast where we run through everything on the table in the world of college hoops. And I'm back for another Butler recap. They won a big one at home against Providence, 75-72. So without further ado, let's run it. So this is another huge win for the Dogs at home in a battle of teams looking to cement their tournament status. Right now, Butler is inside the bubble, looking at that 10-9-ish line seed, and Providence is just on the outside. So safe to say this game really mattered, and both teams showed up. This was a back and forth game. Both teams had relatively big leads throughout the game. Butler's biggest lead came with 17 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the second half, up 11. Providence then flipped the script and led with 4 minutes to go with a 7-point lead, but it was the Dogs that held serve. They came back, their offense heated up, and Providence didn't score a single point from the 2 minute and 17-second mark for the rest of the game. Butler eventually came back and won, but not without a flair for the dramatic at the end. With seconds to go, Butler was up 173-72. Corey Floyd drove the lane, went for a dunk, and he met both Jalen Thomas and Augusto Casilla at the rim, and they came up with a huge block. Block in quotation marks because it didn't come without controversy. Providence fans are pissed because from certain angles, it looked like a foul, like Augusto Casilla got Corey Floyd's forearm from the back, but from other angles and from the broadcast angle, to me, it looked clean, but regardless, it was an exhilarating ending and a huge home win for Butler. Speaking about those Dogs, Butler's top performers were DJ Davis and Posh Alexander. DJ Davis continues to stay hot, continues to be the spark plug of Butler's offense with 20 points, 6 of 9 from the field, 4 for 7 from 3, and knocked down all 4 of his free throws. Contributed elsewhere as well with 8 boards and 8 assists. Posh Alexander also had himself a good game with 10 points, 8 boards, 8 assists, and 3 steals. But back to DJ Davis, he has really been the focal point, especially in the past stretch of games for the Dogs. He only shot the ball 9 times, and scoring 20 points is a really, really big deal. Super efficient. He's really hit his stride at the right time. This is his 4th straight game of 20 plus points and his 6th straight game of 17 plus points, going back to late January. Before that, he had a stretch of games where he wasn't really himself. His shots just weren't falling. But now he's really hot and he's playing his best basketball. He's known as the country's best foul shooter, but as of late, he's been so much more for Butler. And as they continue to win, he's been everything they need him to be. Another big reason why Butler won against Providence is because they dominated the glass from start to finish. They won the total rebounding battle 40-28, as well as winning the offensive rebounding battle 8-7. Not just the big men grabbing the boards down low, but DJ Davis, Posh Alexander getting their 16 boards between the two of them was a big factor as well. And overall, when Thad Matta brought in this year's recruiting class, there were a lot of transfers, a lot of new guys. There was out with Laval Jordan's class and in with Thad Matta's own guys. He wanted to find guys that were able to get it done when the chips were down, when the odds were stacked against them. He wanted winners. And this team has that edge to them, has that dog in them, if you will. They've hit their stride. They've overcome adversity when it's thrown in their face, and they're figuring out ways to win. You go back to that double overtime win against Villanova. You go to the Creighton game where on the road coming up with a big win. Even the UConn game, they stuck with them the whole way. And when it seemed like the wheels were about to fall off against Providence, they stepped up and found a way to win. Figuring out how to win is a huge skill, not just in college basketball, but in any sport. This Butler team is finally figuring it out. On the other side, let's talk about Providence. Their top performers were Devin Carter, their leading scorer. He had 18 points, 6 of 16 from the field, 2 for 7 from 3, and knocked down all 4 of his free throws as well. Also got 5 boards on the glass. But Corey Floyd, coming off of the bench, playing big time minutes, 20 points on the game, 6 of 15 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3-point, 5 of 8 from the foul stripe, and 4 boards. Now, the Friars were playing undermanned. They have a few usual starters and key players that were missing. Bryce Hopkins, he was already out for the season when he suffered a torn ACL about a month ago. Jaden Pierre, who was another usual starter, was banged up, but he was able to fill in off the bench in a minor role. Josh Aduro was another big name, one of their leading scorers. He missed the game to witness the birth of his first child. Congratulations to Josh Aduro. That is a big, big deal. So what does that mean? That means other guys have to step up. And that brings me to Corey Floyd Jr. Scoring that game-high 20 points for Providence is so big because that really isn't what Corey Floyd's role is. He's averaging 3.8 points per game entering the Butler game on the season. And when the Friars were down a Jaden Pierre, missing a Josh Aduro, they needed another big scorer. And oh boy, Corey Floyd just took that opportunity and ran with it. Providence also showed some fantastic fortitude and mental toughness, especially in the second half when they were staring that double-digit deficit in the face. They were able to get hot, especially from three, and completely flip the game. You have to give Providence their credit. They played like a team that was hungry, that was looking for a spot in the tournament, and they played Butler really tough. But at the end of the day, it just wasn't meant to be. Butler found a way to get the job done and win. Butler's next game comes against number 7 Marquette on Tuesday. That comes at home. They'd already beaten Marquette on the road earlier in the season, so you know Marquette is going to be angry and looking for revenge. Butler's won 4 out of the last 5, and the road gets no easier, but playing well in this stretch is so, so important because each win pushes the Dogs further into the tournament. The march to March Madness continues. And on the other side, Providence, their next game is at home against St. John's. They're playing another bubble team. St. John's is right on the outside looking in. So the margin for error with each loss becomes smaller and smaller. So Providence is really going to have another opportunity to step up in this one. But that's all I got for this Butler Providence recap. Another big win for the Dogs. Let's see if they can keep it rolling. But if you want more stuff, we have more college basketball content. Tim does produce stuff. I do Butler stuff. We also have Boom Buster Believable. We're also covering the Super Bowl as that gets going. It's here, it's exciting, and we can't wait. But if you want us to talk about anything else, let us know. And until next time, I'm out.